And you can sit on, of course, a pillow, or you can sit on that block. Just bring your hips a little bit higher than your ankles. And once you are there, take any little micro movements that feel good. So maybe roll the shoulders, take a little bit of time to find movement in the neck. Maybe even open and close the jaw a few times, moving the jaw around, noticing if that feels tight or you're holding tension there. And bring in just a bit of ease or softening to all of those areas. That might feel a little stagnant or stuck or sticky. And see if you can sit up just a little bit taller. So think about your collarbones broadening as the top of your head rises. Maybe soften the eyes. And take a big breath in right here. Fill all the way up. And open up your mouth, a slow exhale out. Focus on the sound of your exhale. Do that 3 more times on your own, breathing in. Long exhale out. Once you've completed that 3rd round, nice and slow, take a shrug of the shoulders on the inhale, draw them up. As you exhale, draw them back and draw them down. And do that a few more times. So you're moving with a little more intention, moving slowly. And if you can even match movement with your breath, let that be an added bonus. Starting to pair that movement with both the inhale and the exhale. And then just take a moment in stillness again. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Feel your fingers touch together. Feel the palms meet. You might even for a moment just bow your chin or your head towards that space. And before you find even more movement, just take a moment to honor yourself for showing up, for creating space in your day, to create space in your breath, in your body, maybe also in your mind. And maybe in this moment here, you set an intention or something that you would like to fill that space up with. And for me, it's like choosing one word to just come back to. So if my mind starts to go to the future or is ruminating in the past, I remember that word. So that word might be presence, patience, courage, softening. There's so many endless words that you can choose from. Pick one if you can. Something you'd like to just focus on today, right now, right here. Use that as your anchor. Take a full breath in and out. Keep that word in your mind. Imagine you bring in more of it on your inhale to fill that space. And then release and find ease on your exhale. One more time like that. Breathe in. Maybe even open up your mouth. Hear the exhale as you empty. So nice. And if you'd like to keep yourself in a seat, stay in this space of stillness, by all means. Of course, you can stay. If you'd like to move a little bit more, take your legs out in front of you for a moment. If you can keep your knees bent, especially if you're sitting on that block. And maybe start to just move the ankles, roll them around, fan out the toes, wiggle them out. If you need movement again in the head and the neck and the shoulders, take it. And meet me in tabletop pose. You can keep that block towards the top of your mat. Have it there for you and start to spread your fingers nice and wide under your shoulders. You can keep your toes either tucked under or untucked, whatever feels better for your body. And then come back to your breath. So stay in neutral for a moment. I want you to revisit that long breath in, long exhale. And start to match and pair that movement with breath. So inhale drops the belly, lifts the tailbone, and maybe start to lift the chin for cow pose. And as you exhale, slowly use your entire exhale to get there. Cat pose, round your upper back and drop your head. 2 more like that. Slow breath into cow. Slow breath out to cat. Last round on your own. And come back to neutral, back to tabletop. Take a moment to just walk your hands up your thighs. So you'll rise up onto your knees and take fists with your hands. Okay. And then start to just take little rolls of the wrists. So let it be intentional, right? Before we spend a little bit more time on our hands, we want to give a little bit of love to the wrists. If you want to, you can even start to flick the hands and let that like sort of come naturally, right? You might flick and then bring that movement into the wrists. So you're just flicking the wrists, front, back, and then take a breath in, reach your hands up overhead. That feels okay. And then interlace your fingers above your head. Flip your palms up towards the ceiling and maybe even look up towards your pinky fingers. A little bit longer here. One more big breath in, and then release your hands back down towards your mat, tabletop pose. Now send your right leg behind you. Let it float hip height to start. And I want you to bend your knee 90 degrees. And we're going to move that right hip socket around a bit. So start to take your right knee, drop it down next to the left for a moment. Now take your right knee straight out to the side and then kick it up and back around. So you're starting to create these circles. Maybe start to bring the knee in a little more towards your chest. Take the knee out and around. Take 2 more circles. Let it be as big as you would like it to be. And once you complete that second circle, I want you to squeeze or snug that right knee behind the left knee, like you're crossing your knees in a chair. Take your feet out a little bit wider. And then if it feels okay, pull your hips back like you were coming into a child's pose. And you can walk your hands as well. So your knees stay crossed, your feet are a little wide apart. And then you just pull your hips back in space a little. If you want to, you can even come up to the pads of your fingers. And your seat may not find the ground. So that's not the goal, right? The goal is just to find that little bit of maybe sensation in the right hip as you drive the seat a little further back. That's a nice little stretch for the hips. Stay for a breath in. A big exhale out. And then you'll rock back forward, weight back onto that left knee as you find three-legged tabletop. Right leg will go behind you. Tuck your right toes onto the ground, press back through the right heel. Get that stretch in the calf. Now you'll spin the right heel down. If you want, that block can come underneath your left hand here, and then reach your right hand up to the sky. Maybe even reach right fingertips forward. If you want an added challenge here, not needed, you can always pick the right foot up to strengthen that right hip. Take one more big breath in, and then you'll drop the right foot down, rise all the way up with arms out like a T. Drop the right hand down, left arm will rise. Gate pose. One more big inhale right here. And cartwheel the hands down. Find three-legged tabletop one last time with that right leg lifted. And set the right knee next to the left. A round of cat-cow. Take it. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the tailbone. And then exhale to round into cat pose. And back to neutral. Again, walk your hands up your thighs, rise up onto your knees. Make fists with your hands, take a little roll, both directions. Rinse all of that out. Maybe flick the fingers, flick the wrists. And you'll reach your hands up towards the sky when you're ready. Interlace the fingers above your head, flip your palms up, look up. And then release, hands come down, tabletop pose. Return. Send the left leg behind you now, hip height, and then bend the knee 90 degrees. Start to bring that left knee just down in line with the right. You'll kick that knee out to the left and then circle that foot back up and around. Do that 2 more times, maybe making that circle a little bit bigger, maybe making it smaller, whatever you need it to be. And you'll start to snug that left knee behind the right to make that cross knee sort of child's pose. The feet come out wide, and then you can even walk your hands back closer towards your knees for support. And as you pull the hips back, maybe even consider lifting through the chest. See what that feels like. If it feels better to drop the head, take that. Stay here, a full inhale. Full exhale. And get inquisitive here. Maybe even start to move the pelvis a little bit to find that deeper sensation in the left hip if you need it. And you'll rock back forward. Come back to that three-legged tabletop. The left leg shoots back. Tuck the left toes under and press back through your heel. You'll spin the left heel down. Right hand can come to a block under the shoulder, and then reach the left arm up here. And reach the left hand forward. You're really long from your left foot to your fingertips. And when you're ready, you'll rise up, arms out like a T. Drop the left hand down the leg. The right arm will rise. One more full breath in. Now bring that right hand back to the block because I forgot it. And if you want that added challenge for strength in the hip, you can pick that left leg up. Obviously not a requirement. Flex the foot. If you can, take one more big inhale. So nice. And then bring the left hand down, three-legged tabletop again, and send the left knee next to the right. One more time here to find cat cow. Lift the chest, lift the tail. Press into your hands, round your back, and drop your head. Cat pose. Now back to neutral. Swing your legs around in front of you. Take a seat here, just for a moment. Again, legs in front. Roll the ankles, fan the toes. Bring the soles of your feet together in the knees. Come out wide. You can grab onto your shins or your ankles. Sit up nice and tall on the inhale. And think about hinging at the hips first. And start to maybe even take the elbows wide to encourage the collarbones to broaden no matter how far you fold. Take one more inhale like you were reaching your sternum beyond your big toes. And then exhale, you can round in, maybe drop your head. Letting this be full of ease here. Here for 3. Maybe coming back to that word or that intention you set. Fill that space with it. 2. Last 1. And you'll start to come up to a seat. So nice. Now let's send your right leg forward and bring the sole of your left foot to your inner thigh, your inner right thigh, or to your knee. And see if you can then flex the ankle so the toes point straight up towards the sky. Take a breath in, reach your hands up. Start to turn your navel, turn your chest looking at your right toes, and then fold forward towards them. Can be another nice way to get a little more length in the low back. Maybe consider dropping the head. Notice what happens when you do. Does that change the sensation? If you want an added stretch in that left side, your left hand can come outside of the shin, the ankle, or the foot. For one more inhale. And exhale. You'll start to sit up and then you'll just switch legs. Right foot comes in, left leg is long, flex the ankle, reach the hands up, and turn the navel, the chest towards the toes, and then fold forward to your degree. Again, return to your breath, even though you're holding this shape. Don't hold the breath as a result. Let it flow in and out. One more full inhale. Full exhale. So nice. And then you'll rise all the way up, find a seat. Make sure you have enough space behind you because you'll slowly start to lie down on the ground. And have your block handy or pillow, whichever one you have nearby. And take your arms down along your sides for a moment. Bend your knees, plant your feet, and start to lift your seat up. So either slide that block on the lowest setting underneath your sacrum, if that feels good, or your pillow slides underneath. And so find that comfy spot where your pelvis feels supported on top. So just a little gentle inversion here where we are supported. If it feels good to knock your knees towards one another, Awesome. If it feels better to keep your knees in neutral, like in line with your hips, your toes pointing forward, take that. And if you'd like, you can reach your hands up towards the sky, but keep the heads of your shoulders heavy on the ground. And then a slow, slow, slow opportunity to take your arms out like a T and keep your palms facing up towards the sky. So the back of your hands rest on the ground. Stay here, full breath in and a full exhale out. Now you can stay just like this if this feels like exactly what you need. You stay. If you'd like a little bit more, you can start to hug your right knee just in. Either bring the hands to the knee to draw it in, or just lift the knee towards the chest. And then lift the right foot up towards the sky. Take a roll of the ankle, fan out the toes. And slowly, slowly, slowly start to bend that right knee, but let the right foot return to the ground, but start to drag the right heel forward. So your left leg stays the same, but your right heel finds your mat and drags forward here. See if you can keep the foot flexed like before. So the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Now, if you'd like a little more of a stretch in the right hip here, right hand reaches back up overhead and then reach it above your head here. So towards the opposite end of your mat. So you're getting really long here from your right heel to your right fingertips. And as a result, you might notice a stretch in the front of your right hip. So it's this like active, mindful stretch. If you want to switch that stretch, notice what happens when you point the right toes forward. Take a full breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. Open your mouth, slow exhale. And when you're ready, come out of it. Take that right hand, reach it back up. You can bring it down along your side for a moment and then drag that right heel back to meet the left heel. So both feet plant. Stay, take a breath in. Open your mouth. And moving to the other side, left knee, hug it in towards your chest. And send the foot up towards the sky. Take a roll of the ankle, fanning out of the toes. And start to bend your left knee again. Let that foot return to the ground, but your heel will land. Toes point up. You're going to drag that heel forward. You might stay for a moment here. If you want a little bit more, reach left hand overhead. Well, notice if your tendency is to tense up here. As a result of that left hip getting a little bit longer in extension here. Notice it. Take a breath in. Long sigh out. Creating that space and then come back to your intention. Fill that space with that intention. Come back to that word. Soften the eyes. Soften the face. The 3, 2, 1. Nice and gentle with the right hand return back to your side. Drag the left heel back to meet the right. Take a moment in neutral here, a breath in, out. And start to lift your hips up, slide that block out if you have it, or the pillow if you have it. And let your low back return to your mat. Again, a moment in neutral here. Breath in. Bigger exhale out. And start to slowly set yourself up for your final rest. You can take your legs long. Arms can come down along your sides. Maybe the palms flip up again to encourage the heart to open here. Allow the eyes to close. Allow the toes to soften. Allow the ankles to release. The knees, the hips. The shoulders, the wrists, and even the tips of your fingers, let them soften. The muscles in the neck, in the jaw, and features of your face. Give them permission to soften as well. As you land in stillness here, maybe bring to mind that word, your intention, your anchor. Allow that intention to be fueled by your breath. Again, drawing in a little more of that on your inhale. Releasing tension on your exhale. A few more rounds, just like that, with every round, maybe even getting a little bit bigger than the last. And start to find, as a result, a little more movement in the fingers and the toes. You can even rock your head slowly side to side. And start to bend your knees. When you're ready, roll to the side of your choice. You can bring yourself to a seat. Once you're there, let your hands come together in front of your heart. Maybe bow your chin, face towards that space. Again, a breath in to draw in more of that intention. Open your mouth to release and soften. Maybe you choose to even keep this intention or this anchor for the rest of your day.